A vicious man and his gang terrorize a small town. Then finally the townspeople stand up and take the thugs down. Inside Edition, straight ahead.
We got the story.
Next flight to Chicago.
We gotta go live. A town was in terror. Cars were damaged, homes were vandalized, and lives were put in danger.
He started swearing at us and said he's going to take his shotgun and blow our brains out.
Today on Inside Edition, how one frightened community banded together and put the bully boys behind bars.
We're going in.
Today on Inside Edition, we'll take you inside the adventure of paragliding.
Just one question.
She's one of the blonde beauties that heaped up the set of Baywatch. Find out how this curvy Canadian went from a beer girl to a bombshell.
Everybody's, doing the wave, and we're all having fun, and I thought, oh, great, this is great. And then I look up at the big screen, and I see this huge face, and I'm looking, and I'm going, oh, my God, that's me. I didn't even recognize myself.
2, 1.
Hello everyone, I'm Craig Rivera. Thanks for joining us on Inside Edition today. There's a new thrill sport around, and all you need to try it is a parachute, a big propeller, and a lot of guts. It's a sport that only a few daredevils will try. Fortunately, we have a fearless daredevil on staff. Rick Kirkham will take us up in the air for paragliding. That's later on in the program. But first, our next report is about overcoming fear. For about 4 years, some thugs bullied a small town. These guys made some people's lives really miserable, until those folks finally decided to do something about it. Here's our story.
He shot my car with a shotgun and did almost $2,000 damage.
He shot me once.
And he smashed your windows.
He threw a brick through it, yeah.
I've never held rage for anybody like I do for him. Not just for what he's done to me, but to everybody in this town.
These residents of Superior, Wisconsin are talking about a man who they claim made their lives a living nightmare. More than 20 residents of this small town have charged that 39-year-old Sam Sekela has stalked, harassed, and bullied them for the past 4 years.
Nobody would testify against Sam because they were deathly afraid of him, what him and his band of goons would do.
Sam Sekela and his gang have been accused of everything from killing his neighbor's dog to burning the mayor's house down, but they were never charged. According to neighbors like Dave Stannard, these bullies knew how to manipulate the system.
We never retaliated against the man. We could never prove that he did it because everything was done late at night, when everybody was sleeping.
The Stannards say their family has sustained more than $8,000 in damages to their property, and they have been living in fear for their lives. And this is all over a parking space?
He had, at the time, 4 or 5 vehicles, parked around his property, and he figured that, well, because he lives there, that he should have all of the parking spots. It started getting worse. He started using a shotgun, and he shot out Bonner's car.
The Stannards took to arming themselves for their own protection.
Did you feel that you really needed these guns?
Yes, we did. Because of everything that was going on, we wanted to protect ourselves.
The Stannards were so intimidated by their neighbor that they obtained a restraining order to keep Sam away. But according to Fran and her son Bonner, that didn't stop him.
The van stopped right behind us, and out jumped Sam. He started swearing at us and said he's going to take his shotgun and blow our brains out.
Why did he do this?
Just to torment us.
Just to torment us, to scare us.
Artist Johnson used to work for Sam in his pawn shop. She claims Sam had been like a brother to her, but they had a falling out over back wages she said she was owed.
We were kidding and joking around, and he said, I'll shoot you right in the... And he stood up and he went, and there was a blue flash. It hit me here, and I says, you SOB, you shot me.
Sam claimed it was an accident. He even brought Artist to the hospital for treatment.
They had asked me if I was allergic to anything, and I says, apparently, I sat straight up and says, yeah, your SOB, lead.
Even Superior's mayor, Herb Bergson, suspects he has been victimized by Sam and his gang. After his officers raided Sam's pawn shop in search of stolen merchandise, someone fired a shot through his office window. Then the mayor's house burned down. Sam Sekela was named as an arson suspect, but was never charged. He denies any involvement.
We may never be able to prove who torched our home. I believe I know who was responsible for that fire.
This unlikely group of people, brought together by their common hatred of Sam and his gang, does not hesitate to admit that they even consider taking the law into their own hands.
We sat in our front room how many nights, and we talked till late at night thinking of how we could do it and get away with it. We thought about killing him.
What's the straw that broke the camel's back?
For me, it was when he killed that dog, egged my truck, and then talked to my daughters again. No, he'd been warned for that before. He'd been for harassing phone calls. But when he said some of that stuff to my daughters, that was enough.
Bruce Kerrigan had been Sam's friend for a while, even set him up in business when Sam's luck was down. But when Bruce says he criticized the way Sam treated other residents of Superior, he claims he became a victim of Sam's rage. But like his neighbors, he couldn't prove it. Sam Sekela seemed invincible to his neighbors here in Superior. They accused him of making harassing phone calls, slashing their tires, firebombing their cars, and even shooting up their houses. But Sam was never brought to justice. It was not until the group banded together that they were able to put the town bully behind bars.
We went to the district attorney. Dave was up there every day of the week for a month or two.
Persistence finally paid off. Prosecutors were able to find enough evidence to put Sam Sekela and his crony John Quam behind bars. Sam was found guilty or has pleaded guilty in separate incidents of perjury, battery, and recklessly endangering safety by throwing a brick through a car window. The residents of Superior, who say they were terrorized by these men, attended every hearing. They wore white ribbons to show their solidarity. And when Sam was sentenced to 4 years in prison, this is how they reacted.
He went to jail here. He never thought he'd ever end up in prison, but he did. And he had a right-hand man.
John Quam.
John Quam. And they were together, the two of them were, they thought they were Al Capone and the gang. Well, they were really Spanky and our gang, you know, because they couldn't whip cream.
Sam Sekela denied our requests for an interview, but we did speak to John Quam, Sam's sidekick, and some believe his henchman. We caught up with him while out of jail on a work release program.
All these people, all these residents of Superior feel that you and Sam are just bad guys, that you're responsible for firebombing, for destroying cars, for shooting shotgun pellets through windows. Why are they accusing you of that? Do you deny you did that?
Yes, I do deny that. I think the reason why I was brought into this was because I'm a friend of Sam Sekela's.
Although investigators believed Quam participated in many of the crimes Sam Sekela took part in, he made a plea agreement to serve 6 months for trespassing, battery, and making harassing phone calls.
Well, how could you be involved with a guy like this, then?
Oh, he's Sam,
Or is this fun, harassing people? Is this fun, scaring people? Is that what you guys get off on?
I didn't get off on it. I was never charged with any of it. Sam was a lot of fun to hang around with.
Who shot at the mayor's window?
I couldn't tell you.
Come on.
Honestly.
So, what, are you just like a little angel here? You didn't do anything?
No, I've been in trouble before. I was charged with battery with a baseball bat.
I don't know, man. Sounds like you guys just enjoyed being the badasses.
Well, if you're just going to think that I'm going to do that, then I ain't even going to talk to you no more.
Sorry, don't touch the camera. This is the true nature of you, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? That's what you like to do. You like to threaten people.
John Quam demonstrated to us the same bullyish behavior the people of Superior say they have had to live with for years. But since Superior's residents combined forces to put these bullies behind bars, they are no longer intimidated. And they say the streets of Superior are a lot cleaner now.
vandalism to officers' vehicles, vandalisms at my home, suspicious activities involving my family, bullet holes in my window. They've all stopped. You figure it out.
All that worries the folks in Superior now is that Sekala and his friends will at some time come back for revenge. We'll be watching. And later on, as Inside Edition continues, Pamela Anderson of Baywatch is one of the hottest stars on the beach. We'll tell you how she got that way. And next, Rick Kirkham risks life and limb for an Inside Edition adventure.
Could we ask you a personal question? Does your mouth feel really clean?
Compared to what?
What do you mean, really clean? Does your mouth feel baking soda clean?
Yeah. Well,
Not as confident as you thought, huh? Then you want the fresh, clean feeling of baking soda combined with proven germ-killing power. Introducing Baking Soda Scope. Clean feeling, great taste, fresh breath. It's a whole new way to feel kissably clean. Introducing Clean Mint Baking Soda Scope.
She's beautiful. She's elegant. She's unforgettable. Welcome aboard the Canandaigua Lady. Experience fine dining on Canandaigua Lake aboard a true replica of a 19th century paddle wheel steamboat. Enjoy lunch and sightseeing cruises daily, a Sunday brunch, or a supper cruise. A truly unique setting for weddings and corporate meetings. The Canandaigua Lady is a lady you'll never forget. Please call today for reservations.
I got your attention now, didn't I, Jack? Come on!
Keanu Reeves, Speed, rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
It's amazing to see something that seems impossible. Well, we've done just that at Faze. We've put a Hallmark card shop inside every store. So now all the ways to say you care are inside Faze. Obviously not your average drugstore.
In his search for adventure, our Rick Kirkham has spent a lot of time in the air, wing walking, flying through a hurricane, and even dogfighting. Now he's taken the next logical step, flying without a plane. They call it paragliding. Here's Rick's story.
It is a sport sure to take America by storm.
All right, here we go.
An adventure even a thrill-seeking reporter can tackle with just a little training and a good breeze. And when the wind dies, these weekend aviators simply create their own. It's called paragliding, and even though it's one of the most popular sports in Europe and Japan, it's only now beginning to take off here in the U.S.
I've taught an 11-year-old girl to fly all the way on up to about a 70-year-old man.
Ken Bear is one of the top paragliders in the world. He, too, wants to see the sport grow here in the States. And when not flying his paraglider over the cliffs of his San Diego home, Ken loves to teach others how to fly. This week, class is in session here in southern Florida.
So I can just lift it, and up she comes.
From the beginning of time, man has longed to soar with the birds. Many a contraption has been built and failed. But the powered paraglider is a dream come true for people who want to fly but can't afford an airplane.
It's not real expensive if you take a look at the other sports out there like jet skiing or the sea-doing or the people that are doing the windsurfing. You can get into a glider for in the $3,000 range.
Louis Withy was so sold on the paraglider when he first saw it, he opened his own business, Power Shoots USA, just so he could be around the sport full-time. Together with Ken, the pair agreed to take me on as their newest student.
You'll be climbing nicely with just a little bit of brakes. You'll probably need just a little bit of left brake more than right to counteract the torque, the prop torque.
Before strapping an aircraft propeller on your back, learning to fly the paraglider with just the wind is a must.
Sitting still, go ahead and make your turn and find your brakes.
Once the glider is up, a tow rope attached to any handy vehicle pulls you into the air.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
However, once airborne to about 300 feet, you release the rope and then soar for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Here and come on back.
After about a week of instruction, most students are ready to try the parafan, a term recently made popular, by the way, by a man named James Miller. You know, that guy who recklessly flew into the boxing arena in Las Vegas. The guy who calls himself the Fan Man.
And I don't know what his objectives are, but I think it's a shame because it's hurting a sport before it even gets off the ground here in this country, and it's giving it a negative connotation.
Since I didn't plan to do anything stupid or break any laws, or my neck for that matter, these experts were ready to let me strap on, buckle in, and rev up. With a squeeze of the throttle and a clumsy lurch forward with the 70-pound, 22-horsepower contraption on my back, I was off. But not for long. Not to be dissuaded by a minor crash landing, I was quickly ready to go again. This time I was off, flying like a bird. Well, a noisy bird. Still, the only thing below me were the other paragliders and my feet. I felt envious of the experts in this sport who can actually ride the warm air currents for hours at a time, sometimes miles above the ground. It's a most remarkable feeling to realize you're actually flying with no instruments, no control towers, and no one around to bother you. The freedom, the isolation, the achievement of man's oldest dream. The only thought as you land seems to be, how soon can you go back up again?
Yes, beautifully done.
Rick Kirkham will do anything to save himself a little money on airfare. When we come back, meet Pamela Anderson, the sexy TV siren who literally was a face in the crowd.
I don't know, you cannot let somebody else control your life. You really have to be the captain of your ship. You have to follow your dreams and don't let anyone discourage you.
Travel arranged through Continental. One airline can make a difference, serving more destinations throughout Mexico than any U.S. airline. That's the difference on Continental.
On Wednesday, would you enjoy a lobster dinner if you knew the men who caught it were risking their lives? Inside Edition investigates divers in danger.
If you're looking for superior performance, make a pit stop at BJ's Wholesale Club for Tide with Bleach. It gets whites white and colors bright. For grass stains this bad, regular detergents only get it this clean. Tide with Bleach gets it cleaner. So race on over to BJ's and join, because BJ's members win big at the finish line. Yeah. And save on Tide with Bleach.
You know, I used to spend my Saturdays at the hardware store like this guy. Parts for the lawnmower, fixing the gutters, salt for the driveway. I changed all that. Now I own a condo at the Woodlands. The Woodlands are great, convenient. With Route 531 opening this spring, I'm just a hop, skip, and jump from the city. We bought a Dartmouth. They start at only $52,500. So why am I in the hardware store? Hey, we still like to grow our own tomatoes. The Woodlands Condominiums, off Route 31 on Owens Road in Brockport.
I never thought it could happen to me. It happened to other guys. Then it happened. I had a serious accident on the job.
I didn't think I was entitled to Social Security benefits, and I sure couldn't afford lawyers' fees. But at Binder & Binder, I was told I didn't have to pay a fee unless they won. Binder & Binder has handled thousands of Social Security cases just like mine. They won my case, and I don't have to tell you what those benefit checks mean to my family.
I'm Charles Binder. We're here to help you get the benefits you're entitled to. We never charge a fee unless we win.
Call now for your free consultation.
Come on, get into it.
Yeah, get into summer savings with a new Chevy truck. Like the all-new Chevy S-Series. Consumers Digest called it the best buy. Call it yours for just $199 a month with all these features.
Get into it.
Or get into a Chevy full-size pickup for as little as $219 a month. When you get into a Chevy truck, you're getting into the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Get into it.
At your local Chevrolet dealer.
Good evening. It was an incredible story in the search for Kaylee Poulton. As it turns out, it wasn't true. We'll tell you how police in Illinois cracked this man's eyewitness account, discrediting the whole thing as a hoax. We'll have a live report via satellite on News 10 at 6 in just a few minutes. Plus, how a Rochester veteran remembers D-Day 50 years after he helped liberate Europe. We'll see you at 6 on News 10.
It's always summer on the TV show Baywatch. This program is a huge hit worldwide, and one of the reasons is Pamela Anderson, who has taken full advantage of her assets. Jenna Tamaro with our story.
The joke nicknames run from Babewatch to Buttwatch because of the fine figures the stars display. But the figure that's made Hollywood take notice is the estimated 1 billion viewers worldwide that watch Baywatch each week.
11, Mitch is in the water.
And if you watch Baywatch, you can't miss Pamela Anderson. Just 1 year ago, this actress and model was juggling roles on 2 hit series. She was strutting her stuff as C.J. Parker, the lifeguard with the look on Baywatch, and hammering her way into America's homes as the tool-time girl on Home Improvement.
Can I stay at your place tonight?
But this year, Pamela decided to hang up her socket wrench. She left Home Improvement, America's #1 show, to devote all her time to Baywatch. All this primetime exposure has made her America's sexiest TV star. Her story is an amazing one, even by Hollywood standards. For in 1989, Pamela Anderson was just a face in 55,000 at a Canadian football game near Vancouver, British Columbia, where she grew up.
And I wasn't really even interested in going, but I said, okay, we'll go, we'll have fun. And everybody's, doing the wave, and we're all having fun, and I thought, oh, great, this is great. And then I look up at the big screen, and I see this huge face, and I'm looking, and I'm going, oh, my God, that's me. I didn't even recognize myself.
It got to the point where the fans were so interested in what was going on the scoreboard that it brought the game to a standstill, and all the players stopped in the middle of the game, and they're all looking up at the scoreboard as well. I figured that if one young lady is capable of bringing an entire professional football game to a standstill, I guess everybody at the time said, boy, this young lady's got a future.
It didn't hurt that Pamela was wearing a Labatt's Beer t-shirt, and the folks who ran the company decided that this stunning beauty could help bring their sales to a head.
They gave me this commercial contract for the year, and they called me down to the 50-yard line and nicknamed me the Blue Zone Girl, Pamela Anderson, the Blue Zone Girl.
It was a short run from the Blue Zone to the cover of Playboy, according to the magazine's West Coast photo editor, Marilyn Grabowski.
When I saw Pamela's composite in 1989, I got her down here right away to do a cover because, unfortunately, I don't have the original composite, and I don't know if you, but look at this face. This face, this body, this everything, and I said, I got to get this girl for a cover, having an ulterior motive of getting her for a playmate.
My dad goes into the grocery store, and they say, are you the father of the girl who's on the cover of Playboy? And he says, oh, yeah, I am.
Well, not just the cover. Playboy's ulterior motive paid off. They convinced Pamela to bear it all in a February 1990 centerfold. That was just the beginning. She's been a Playboy cover girl again and again.
I was talking to Hef the other day, and he goes, now you've been on the cover more than anybody, more than Bo Derek, more than Marilyn Monroe, more than anybody.
Revealing all within the pages of Playboy took Pamela straight to the top in television and into the arms of some of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors. She dated Baywatch co-star David Charvet. Then she was engaged to Scott Baio for 2 short weeks. Pamela insists she's learned a lot about Hollywood relationships.
I don't know, you cannot let somebody else control your life. You really have to be the captain of your ship. You have to follow your dreams and don't let anyone discourage you.
Those dreams have now taken Pamela to the big screen with her first feature role in Snapdragon. wagon. She plays the role of an amnesia victim in this suspense thriller. Not bad for a Canadian kid who just happened to stand out in a crowd.
I've been very, very lucky. I'm always lucky. I mean, look, I go to the football game and I get spotted out like that. I mean, I don't know, born with horseshoes around my neck. I don't know.
I don't think luck had anything to do with it. And Inside Edition will continue in just a moment.
But I wish I could sink my teeth into one right now.
My Lender's Bagels. You know, I start my day every day with a toasted Lender's Bagel.
It's crispy on the outside.
And they're all warm and chewy inside? A piece of toast is not going to satisfy me.
It's what cream cheese was invented for.
And imagine, only 2 grams of fat.
This is what I was craving.
Nothing like a Lender's Bagel.
So enjoy. My Lender's Bagels. First you crave, then you rave.
Hey, Murray. Thanks.
The first time I switched pain relievers, it was from aspirin to Tylenol. Then recently, I switched again, from Tylenol acetaminophen to Advil. You see, I got these really pounding headaches, and I found Tylenol didn't always get rid of all the pain. So I tried Advil and found that for my really tough headaches, 2 Advil worked better than 2 extra-strength Tylenol tablets, better than extra-strength Tylenol caplets, better than Tylenol gel caps. For my tough headaches, Advil just works better. Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
Canker sores are torture.
Sensiguard stops the pain fast and stops it for hours. Sensiguard won't wash off.
Sensiguard stops the pain fast, stops it for hours.
Sensiguard stays on guard against canker sore pain.
At Burger King, you're #1 with us. So just for you, we've gone the BK Broiler one better. Now it's even bigger than the one before, with more all-white meat chicken for an even bigger value than the one before. Of course, it's still flame broiled because that's one taste we know you love. The new BK Broiler. It's one big taste for one big value, and we'll make one specially for you at Burger King.
Hi, welcome to Burger King.
We may not be the world's #1 fast food place. It just tastes that way with the new BK Broiler.
Get into it. A high-mileage Geo Metro for $74.40. Get into Geo Tracker and get 1,000 cash back. Get a Geo Prism, one of the smartest values on the road. With air, dual airbags, AM/FM stereo, just $189 a month with no down payment. Get into summer savings now. At your local Chevrolet Geo dealer.
Northwest Hearing and Speech Center. We're here to help you.
Now here's a look at what's coming up on the next Inside Edition.
Inside Edition shows you a moment in time.
Sir, are you okay?
These people witnessed a crime.
This man's sitting here. Apparently, he's been shot and bleeding.
A life hangs in the balance.
Yes, it was. 2 shots. We heard.
And no one who sees the next Inside Edition will ever be the same.
Tell him to get an ambulance. Just get an ambulance.
He's been shot in the chest.
Find out what happened.
That's coming up tomorrow, and that's all the time we have for this Inside Edition. I'm Craig Rivera. Thanks for joining us today.